Well, good night and welcome back to this post-game Bermuda versus Haiti uh, press conference for us. Um, Guys, Bermuda came away with a nil-nil draw against tough opposition. Both teams created chances. Unfortunately, on the night, fortunately for us, none of theirs went in, and unfortunately for us, none of ours went in. Break down what you saw. We'll start off with Punchy on the end there. What were some of the things you saw positive on the night from the local boys?
Well, what I was also impressed with, a game of this magnitude, the introducing some of the first timers into the national program, and I thought quite a bit of them held their own, a lot of them held their own.
Mm.
Um, a game of this magnitude for players to be thrust into that position against Haiti, who's a powerhouse in the Caribbean. I thought they really have. I was particularly impressed with quite the performance of the younger. Not saying that the others didn't weren't as good, but that's and just listen to the interview by Kyle and the Key concerning what's happening in Bermuda and the rebuilding process, what's going on here. And I think it's a perfect example of what we saw today.
Mm.
Players, a lot of the players in the country, younger ones are there playing outside the country, and you can see it.
Mm.
So it was really, really impressive.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah, for me, UB spoke about it pre-match, how we need to set up and how we need to play and what we need to do. And I think we did that. We frustrated them. In the beginning of the match, you could see that they came out with this sort of arrogance, a couple of flicks and back heels, kind of strolling around. But we got their attention. And once we got their attention, then they tried to come at us. So I think that we had some discipline in there at times. And we forced them to play into our hands. Maceo mentioned it in the beginning. Ideally, what we want them to do is have to play over the top, and we saw that they played over the top quite a bit. Sometimes they almost capitalized, but a lot of times we were able to deal with it. A lot of positives. Daniel Cook stand out. Reese Jones, Jalen Harvey, Dante didn't have a bad game, but I think that those players really, really stood out. And I think another positive was that we stayed in this match. We stayed in this match from the first whistle to the final whistle.
Mm. Maceo?
Yeah, definitely for the fact. I was a bit worried going into the game with the new look players and if the sport was aging, if they can deal with it physically. They dealt with the game physically, right? Haiti was definitely a more physical team than us, but we notified that and we enforced ourselves. So the positive for me is the mental ability to stay in the game for 90 minutes. We would have seen previously that we lapsed. We think we got the game done at 85.
Mm.
Dale made some fantastic saves at 85 plus minutes to keep us in the game, and we had chances on the other side. So that is definitely positive. That the mental piece and the professional piece to stay in the game during both the tough periods and the disappointing periods.
Mm.
We would have chances, and obviously, some of Daniel Cook is, as everybody said, he was a standout. First international game against Haiti, he was definitely a standout, and I hope that gives motivation to the other players that we mentioned in the pregame show. That because it could be very exciting.
Mm.
If we get it right, right?
Mm. Definitely, and obviously they hit the road tomorrow. They've got to go to play Guyana, and then they play Montserrat, and then they come back home to play Montserrat. But looking at this, they take away what are some of the takeaways that they now look confident going into that next match, because now with the favorites kind of out of the way for this half, now we can focus on those other new challenges. But we know the favorites didn't beat us. And as anybody would tell you, Bermudians play off of emotion. And this result tonight, a 0-0 draw with a team that pretty much around the conference or around CONCACAF would have said, okay, Haiti would have won this game with ease, but we come up with a point. Maceo, what's your thoughts on how they attack these next, especially on the road, 2 games?
So I'm gonna come hard at this one because this is about trying to win the group now, because the opportunity was there. To even today, the opportunity was there to win the game. So I don't want to go in this let's celebrate, let's have a parade mood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work to be done. It's a lot of work to be done, you know. And then the next game that we play Haiti is going to be away in March in Haiti. I just speaking with Carl about it. So we have to knuckle down professionally now. You know, we've got an opportunity. We, you know, the favorites didn't create a gap on us. We can potentially win, you know, lead this group, and we could potentially win this group and get on it. So this is the piece. It's work to be done behind the scenes to encouraging other players to be a part of it. So I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves and say, well, we can celebrate or we can have a motorcade. No, it's not time for that. We've got to knock it down and do some work now.
Sure, Coach.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Mace. This game's done. This game has no bearing on the next two games. We do know a little bit of Guyana, and I don't know how much we know about Montserrat, but again, we go in and play that next game like we're playing against Haiti. And whether they're a weaker opponent or not, we start fast, we start hard, and we take the game to them. I don't think that the players are in that space. They realize that this is one game and it's a league, and it's take the result. I don't think anybody here would say that before this match started, they would have been happy with a 0-0 draw. At the final whistle, when I was saying, "Oh, wish we could have snatched it," right? So I think the players will take that. They will take this result, and I think they will lift each other. Again, as we know, Kyle had to pick two teams, so I don't know who is not available to travel, but hopefully, majority of the team that played tonight and a few more of the subs is able to travel, and we'll have a stronger performance. So I think they're going to be up for it. I think they're going to be ready for these next two matches, and if they're playing at the Guyana stadium that we play at, it's a pretty okay stadium, a nice little field, nice surface. So yeah, we should be fine.
Yeah, Punch.
My take on that is that added to what both of them said about keeping ourselves grounded, just keep level-headed. What I did like, what I was impressed about is that now if we're going away, and you look around, and I'm sure Kyle must look like, who am I put on next? And now it's like, yeah, okay, you come on, you fit in the system, and so you do see the numbers increasing and the quality. So let's say we have to rest Reggie in the next game against Montserrat. Then this younger player comes in his position. What I am so happy about is that that's progress. That now you're not guessing. Oh, I just put in a center midfielder at right fullback. So now, positions are it's more opportunities, and I do want to add to the fact that again, we're still a growing nation of football, especially in the CONCACAF region. But we're taking steps, and let's keep ourselves level-headed. That's it.
Definitely. Well, of course, it's Tuesday night. Their next game, they depart tomorrow, heading over. So the team still needs our support. I mean, the country still they need to know that the country still supports them. And it was nice to see the crowd fill the grandstand eventually tonight, and end up over. Yeah. So that shows progress as well. And with the inclusion of these other players,
I think the storm's coming.
yeah,
I think the storm's coming.
Storm's coming early.
I wanted to kind of piggyback on what Uncle Fonzie said. Against Haiti, we held on, and then the quality, like when he brought those players on, it raised the quality. It wasn't, they were legit game changers. It wasn't like, okay, started I'm going to say it, our best players, and now we're brought on. Those players came on and changed the complex. So that has to be exciting for Kyle, right? To know that I have this. Like, I have this now. Moving forward, and he knows what else or who else he has in his arsenal. So that's what I find very exciting.
Yeah.
And Maceo mentioned something in the beginning about the players around the key. You saw that once certain players came, when they lifted, they freed him up to do,
particularly Christian, right?
Yeah, to do more things. I mean, if him and Kane can develop a formidable partnership, I'm excited. I can't wait for the next few games.
I think the speed and the control in which the players that came on into the game that kind of caught Haiti by surprise.
It was so exciting to her. I'm sorry, Mace. It was really good at the end to her. And I talked to my uncles, my dad, but I heard people around saying, this was the first time they felt like they were at a Bermuda game, and it wasn't so much ooh and ahs, but
Right.
it was so exciting and
Mhm.
like the looking forward to when these guys play again. And this is what we need that
Yeah.
time in, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the honesty of the Bermudian crowd. Like they're only going to give you something based on something good.
Mhm.
You know, we especially older generation, they'll come and support, but they're only going to give you their positive and good energy when they see something good. So tonight, I mean, the tactics. You know, when you come out with a result like that, that's evidence that the tactics got right.
Mhm.
No matter what positions we had before or whatever, the tactics got right,
Mhm.
and we could have won the game.
Yeah.
And like you said, the quality of Kane Kirchner coming on and created additional chances. Now people are motivated to see what we do next.
Mhm.
But I keep having is what we do next. We have to do something next.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
You know, we have
So-
to do something next.
And that's what we look forward to on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, we
You
have
know,
to do something
we
next.
we'll see. We'll obviously again they're gonna go back to this hotel tonight. They're gonna look at themselves and say, you know what? Okay, we done the job that was asked of us to do today. We need to stick together and continue to do the job that's asked of us, even if it's not in the best interest of me as a personal player. But I got to do a job for the country. And if everybody puts their hand up and says, okay, that's what we'll do, and you saw it tonight. Some players were playing in different positions that they would have played in this season, but were able to do the job asked of them to get over this line tonight.
Mhm.
And that's the positive. That's what we take out of it.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with Carl about the players that were not there today. So obviously, I mean, the player Jai Pitt, he's been training, so Carl's had a chance to look at him.
Mhm.
And that's becomes of interest because he can, you know, he can be the next Nicky Rouse. He
Mhm.
is capable of that. As young as is what only 19.
Mhm.
So again, this is a cry for everybody to come on board with the project.
Sure.
That because if everybody comes on board with the project, our country gets a buzz. Our country needs a buzz in its football. It needs a buzz.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
think this game would have turned a few heads. I think
Sure.
this game would have had some players that probably weren't available thinking, you know what, I can be a part of this. I can be. And we have to understand that we're in a different process. And
Yeah.
before, our team was playing once every 4 years because we had qualifying, we weren't qualifying. So, but now it's a Nations League. So these coaches now get to see a lot of players, get to see them playing in different positions, different games. And I think it will come together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to Tuesday night. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
All the
Okay.
best, guys.
All the best,
All the best.
Safe travels.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, folks, I first want to apologize for internet. The first half of the show, we had technical issues around the stadium, even the live stream.
Oh yeah, they said people were.
Yeah,
But it didn't come through.
it was buffering a lot, and it was just technology around here, to start the day. But I'm glad we got the opportunity to review the game and have this chat, and we'll be back
14.
June 14th.
Yes, we will.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming.
Yes, good
And
night.
folks, we'll be back on again June 14th. Bermuda versus Montserrat, right here at the National Sports Center, Philadelphia, Southfield Stadium. Have a good night.
Good night.